Welcome back. I am so glad that you are here, coming back for another hangout session with me, doing a reading. And this time it's about the full moon and different gifts that are probably waking up for you. Yay! So grab a cup of tea, settle in for a little bit, and we'll see what's in the stars. So I have lit a candle for us, as always. And I did a little invocation in terms of, inviting all the guides. I love doing that because I feel like without them, um, it's just me in my head. So I'm inviting the guides to give me a little bit more expanded awareness around what it is that we need to hear today. Um, this is you and me both. What do I need to hear? What do you need to hear? And open that doorway for uh, me and you to connect right here and use this flame as a doorway. So just take a second. There you go. All right. So how's everybody feeling? How's everybody doing? Did you sleep good? Did you dream? I know that I dreamt loads of dreams, but I don't remember anything. And I woke up feeling quite tired. Yeah, so I feel like maybe I was off moonlighting, literally my other job, out in the astral doing who knows what. So if anybody else out there is also pretty tired today and you had loads of dreams or you remember them and you don't, I don't know, whatever. But yeah, if you know what we were all doing, if we were hanging out together, you let me know because I want to know what was up last night. So yeah, this full moon in particular in Sagittarius, and then the moon in Sagittarius is across the street from the sun in Gemini. And look at that. The crow just went by. So that connection right there, I feel, is really opening us up to Sagittarius is what do I believe? And Gemini, what do I know? And how those two things work in harmony together. And so I feel this is just an intuitive feeling, a deep, deep feeling, is that this full moon is illuminating some gifts that are starting to really wake up in us. And maybe you're already kind of aware of what is waking up in you. Maybe maybe this has been coming on slowly or pretty fast. I don't know. But these things kind of wake up in us, and when they turn the light switch on, it's like you get some clarity, like big clarity, and then when the light goes off, you're a little confused again. So it's a little disorienting sometimes navigating these new awarenesses that are coming online. So yeah, that could take many, many shapes. For me personally, I'm thinking of the different clairs. So like clairaudience, clairsentience, help me out, guys. What are the rest? Claircognizance. That's like knowing. Anyway, those kind of senses, those are starting to really get opened up and heightened. And it's just going to get more and more and more illuminated as we keep moving through this year. And especially right now with solstice on its way, where the light is going to be at its brightest for us in the Northern Hemisphere. That is both very exciting and it is a lot of work on our energy bodies. So I hope that everybody is taking care, drinking lots of water, Lots of water, because that really helps the energy in your body move and circulate. The other thing that's coming through right now is, we are not always getting enough minerals in, and I'm talking like silica, magnesium, these kind of minerals that would be natural in our fruits, veggies especially. Um, that help the electricity move through our body. And so, yeah, it's even just like dropping into my head right now of putting some trace minerals in your water, silica, magnesium, all those other ones that I can't think of right off the top of my head, that help you get super hydrated and help that energy move. Because anytime we have that stuck energy, it over time will become or can become illnesses that we then have to work out in the physical. So it's so much easier to be preventative in terms of, um, you know, hydrate, get that chi moving. And this is such medicine for me as well. I need to get myself moving more and be a more diligent in carving out time for this qigong practice that I'm very excited about. And I'm just going to tell you guys right now, you guys are going to help me stay on top of doing my qigong, okay? Because it's so helpful, but sometimes I forget to do it, or I just don't want to do it. So anyway, I know I'm not alone here. Okay, the card that just fell out. Oh, wow. Okay, this is amazing because I pulled a card when I was sitting, like setting up right before and lighting the candle and really getting into an open, receptive space where I could deeply hear the wisdom. It takes me a little time sometimes, especially this morning where I was feeling kind of tired. It took me a minute to kind of get into that open space, but I was asking, what gifts are opening up for us at this time with the new moon? Oh, the full moon, sorry, with the full moon. And this is the same card that I pulled. So it's official. Wow, look at this. New life. New life. New life is opening up. Okay, so again, this is what I'm getting at with different awarenesses that are, see how she's cracking out of this shell. I'm going to tweak this way. If I tweak it like that, maybe we can see it without a glare. Yeah, so she's like popping out of this shell. She's got these beautiful little fairy wings, and you can just imagine when little wings come out of a cocoon, that chrysalis, they're pretty crumpled and wet and tender. And it takes a minute for those wings to expand and open and dry and become strong enough to fly. So right now, the gifts that are coming online for us are so fresh. They are baby silky smooth. And so we need to be really tender and nurture those gifts. So one thing that's coming through big time is that sometimes with the clairs, and this is where I'm going to focus with gifts, is that with the clairs, um, clairsentience. Clairsentience is when you can feel things in your body. And sometimes this can feel, you know, you can take on other people's pain for a little while. Like you'll be hanging out with somebody and you'll notice like, oh wow, my knee is hurting, and you don't have any knee problems whatsoever. For you, your knees have always been, so strong and amazing, and no pain. And you're hanging out with this person, for some reason your knee is just like, ow, hurting. Okay, that could be you sensing something that's going on with them. May not. And these are the funny things where they don't always align perfectly linear. They may not have literal knee pain, but they may have something where they don't feel supported enough. You see what I'm getting at? Where it's like, so clairsentience is when you literally feel something in your body, and that is your radio antenna picking up information from the outside, and it's informing you. This one is a little tricky because when you feel something, it doesn't always register. You're just like, oh, whatever, today my neck is a little achy. So what's actually kind of important is to do body scans with clairsentience. Body scans, these are things where maybe I can actually make a little video on a body scan. You start taking notes of all the different cool videos I want to make. Where, you just travel through all your body and you just take account of how are you feeling right now. You do this often enough, you start to really put a pattern together. You start to recognize what your body normally feels like and what your body feels like when you're absorbing wisdom and you're being guided or being told some new information. So that's clairsentience. And then clairaudience, you're hearing things. This one, you can start to feel literally crazy, where you're like hearing voices, or you just hear something that nobody else is hearing, and you're just like, okay, why am I hearing this? Well, that's you again. This is your radio antenna. It's getting lifted higher and higher. That radio antenna right now with this full moon is being like, remember, like the little kaleidoscope, like doop, 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 doop. So that's coming, whoop. Well, that radio antenna is getting strengthened, all that. So clairaudience can be kind of a loopy one because you're hearing things and perhaps the surrounding area and nobody heard any of that, but you clearly heard something. Could be your name, could be a sentence. Start to pay attention to what it is that you're hearing. And then claircognizance. Now, this is the one where I started out with. Claircognizance is where you just know something. Now, this one makes you you appear like you are a daydreaming, let's just say it, a daydreaming idiot. Where you just suddenly know something, nobody else knows it, but you know it. You don't know how you know it. You just do. And you can't prove how you know it because it's not even really a thing that you felt. It's just something, it just dropped into your head one day and boom, now you know. And this is something that is so difficult for those people out there that really need the straight linear dots connecting everything in a provable pattern, where you know it because you read it or you heard about it, or so yeah, that one is kind of an interesting one. I keep feeling like I'm missing the different clairs. We've got the one where you sense in your body, where you hear. I'm sure the nose has one, like clair smellicence. You guys have clair smellicence? Actually, I had a friend, I do know a lady that her nose picks up the smallest little like hint of anything. It's quite difficult for her to go hang out in like, crowded things. I mean, that's not happening right now, but like malls and stuff where you get like, the artificial perfumey thingies that come out, and like that was really hard for her because it just like went straight into her nose. But yeah, maybe Clairsentience. Is that the way to say it? Guys, I'm forgetting the rest of the clairs, but you know what I'm getting at. Those ones are really key. I think that's why I'm kind of stuck with those, is that clairsentience, claircognizance, clair, what's the one where you can see it? Where it's a visual clair, where you see visions. This one, to be honest, I feel like this one is the easiest, and I say that in the quotes, easiest one to have, and it's because I feel like it's one that people are a little bit more open and accepting of, sort of right now, where you get visuals. And this one could be like you see symbols, events, it's almost like you close your eyes and you just kind of see a story laid out. Yeah, that one actually can be a little bit easier to work with, only just because there's so many resources out there, excuse me, that kind of help the people that are perhaps more on the visual learning side, where you see things, you take things in visually, you process it. So if your clair is, gosh, why did all of the clairs fall out of my head? Sorry, guys. But yeah, so I'm even just trying to look up clair. Yeah, like what the four clairs. Okay, so I got clairvoyance. That's the one I'm looking for. Yes, claircognizant, clairvoyance, clairsentience. Yeah, so clairvoyance. Sorry, guys. Like I said, moonlighting all night, have no idea what I was up to. Clairvoyant, I feel like, is actually more, I feel like that's the one that came online early on, where a lot of different people that are well known in the more esoteric fields are clairvoyant. And so this is one that's gained kind of a bit of a reputation. There's resources because it's more well known. These other ones, especially clairsentience, sometimes it just manifests as like a hypochondriac, where you've got many, 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 many things that are wrong and you just don't know what it is. And you've absorbed other people's information, and it's not really yours. So I think we've gone off on that tangent long enough. But what's happening is that we are waking up to these different clairs that are big and potent and very important for our life, because these are things that have been switched off, turned down, not generally accepted in mainstream society. Because when we just suddenly hear, know, see, feel things, this can be jarring to others that don't have that yet. And I think every single person on the planet, every single person has their own clair, or many of them. Yeah. So nobody is left out of having a clair. However, some of them are a little quieter than others, just because they are either repressed, suppressed, or just not aware of them yet. So anyway, it'd be very cool to see which clair you actually are most awake to right now. And which one do you feel is actually waking up right now? Start to pay attention to, just this month. What's been kind of coming into your awareness just this month? So let's actually see a little bit more about new life. Let's get a little more clarity, a little bit more guidance on what is being illuminated this full moon for us. There it is. What is being illuminated? I love this card. This one's good. These cards are beautiful. It's the Threads of Fate Oracle, which is just, oh, I love it so much. This one is called the Sovereign. Yeah. And I mean, I almost feel like that kind of says it all. It's like, what's waking up? Our sovereignty, the ability for us to actually take responsibility for our own choices, our own life, our own desires, the ways. I mean, if you've been listening to the different readings, it feels almost like a through thread that the guides have been offering here of really attuning to your your heart mind alignment, so that you really are going in the direction of your truth. And new life is being illuminated, so these different gifts are being illuminated in the context of us being sovereign, that we actually are the ones in charge of our own the way in which we take in and interpret information that's out there available for us. That, yeah, I think that's beautiful. So we're really stepping into our own leadership roles as well. Even if you're not like in a very public version of leadership role, there's still things that are coming online in terms of how, especially with this little group that I feel tunes in to these readings, I feel like you are all healers in some capacity, and everybody is kind of stepping more and more into that illuminated path of taking on a little bit more each step of the way. I'm being really called to do these cards. I love them. In terms of, I feel like this moon, with a lot of moons, I feel this is true, but this one especially, and partly it's because we have Mercury is the divine messenger, and it is at 0 degrees Gemini. Gemini is the one that communicates between the two hemispheres of the brain, communicates with different people. It's the it's the sacred twins. But that place, and I'm gonna feel like yet another broken record here, but 0 degrees Gemini, guys, this is where my guides come from, dudes, is exactly conjunct, oopsies, bunch of cards fell on the floor. It's exactly conjunct Alcyon, which is one of the brightest stars in the Pleiades. And these are, the Pleiadians are our ancient ancestors. They are here to help us with this evolution that we are going through. And because they themselves went through their own. And so now they have gone through the process of their evolution. And now they can help us with ours. And what's happening is that we are also on that same trajectory of opening up more and more and more of our sacred abilities to tune in and become part of the greater cosmos, that we're no longer really, we no longer have to be isolated as a tiny little blue ball floating around in space, that we do have our cosmic ancestors, and we are in a neighborhood surrounded by very, very loving guides and helpers who have all been through different various stories that are mirroring our own right now. So the Pleiadians, again, Mercury is stationed exact with Alcyon. That means that 0 is a doorway of communication, Mercury communication. Gemini, communication, and that is communicating with that ancient star. So that right now, if you tune into that, that is also coming in with, divine messages for us, big time. So look at this. Okay, so I wanted to pull an ancestor card for that particular feeling that, what is it that star is informing us right now? What do the Pleiadians want to help us with on this path forward? And it said drum, dream, and journey. So our dream time is really important to pay attention to. I mean, I'll just hold this up because I love this card. Is it focusing? It's just beautiful. The sacred drum. The drum mimics our heartbeat, and our heartbeat keeps us in rhythm, in time with, the portal going in and the portal going out. So the heartbeat is our sacred sound. And so we are being called to dream, to journey with our heart's sacred knowing, and cultivate a deeper awareness of where our heart wants to take us to. Like journey implies going somewhere, and dream. This is what I've been starting to feel more and more, is that things that are coming into our life, they come into our life energetically first, especially right now as we're starting to really shift into a new way of being on the planet. Is that these things are coming through energetically first. And so that is very subtle, very quiet. We need to be deep listeners, and they start to become bigger and bigger and bigger in the physical, in their physicality, in our actual surroundings. And so right now, what this card is telling me is that these new things coming that are illuminating the gifts that are coming online right now, that are putting us more and more in our own divine, authentic truth selves, however, which way you want to say that, is illuminating more and more of what our heart really wants, and the way in which we can get there through listening to the heart, and then being courageous to actually take the journey. It takes a lot of courage to jump into that little canoe and paddle those rapids. So this is a courageous path, and you guys are amazing for being on it and actually listening and cultivating these super amazing gifts that you all have, the ones that you know about, and the ones that are new baby fledgling little chickies that maybe you don't quite know yet what they are and what they will grow to be. So, my dears, that is the full moon blessing for us all today. I'm so glad that you were here joining me. I will just thank the beautiful guides that stepped in to help us get really clear, beautiful messages. And yeah, just thank them, because they're also on their own soul's evolution, doing whatever it is that spirit guides do when they're not hanging out with us. They always are hanging out with us. And yeah, so we'll just close that doorway, thanking them for their generosity. And yeah, so let's see, a couple of fun things is that if you are listening to this and it's not too late, doing a full moon mini reading event with my friend Lisa, where we are trying to gather awareness for our incredible Ancestor Alchemy retreat that's coming up in October. And yeah, so we are hosting a full moon mini reading tonight at 7 p.m. And that will just be a private Zoom thing. So if you're watching and you want to attend and it's not 7 o'clock yet and you haven't missed the boat, then just reach out to me, email, website, Instagram, Facebook, however one you find me. And I will send you a Zoom link, okay? Because it would be great to see you there. And what else? What else? Yeah, this month has been a whole bunch of activity. I feel like I've been traveling way more than I've ever traveled in just this short amount of time. And that's kind of exciting and exhilarating and has just filled me up. And I'm also ready to be home. So I am home and excited to just settle in and do some home things that have been, on the table, like getting Taya's room all, she's renovating her room, getting it like more big kidified, teenageified. Yes. So that's been cool. And also just welcoming summer. I'm starting to feel like I want to do a solstice event. I think that would be really fun. Maybe we do like a journey, a shamanic journey for the solstice. So there's some ideas brewing. I'm not totally sure what kind of event I want to put together, but yeah, I think that would be really fun. And then, I'm still taking private readings and, Reiki clients and all that good stuff. You know how to find me. And I don't know what else to talk about. I feel like there's always fun things that I think about when I'm out on my walks. And then I get on camera and I sometimes forget all these fun things I wanted to say. So yeah, anyway, I hope to see you guys at the event tonight. And if not, this is later that you're watching this, then there will be many, many other events. And I really can't wait to see you at whatever comes next. Okay, so much love to you all. Happy full moon. If you are inspired at all to share different things that have been coming up for you, or generally if you just want to get maybe some friends clued in and get some support with these different things that are not so normal to talk about in society, that I feel are absolutely normal and should be widely accepted to talk about, like spirit guides and angels, ancestors, all this unseen stuff that is always in our field. And we just don't really give room or space to talk about in, small talk with your neighbor or something. So I do have a group that is slowly forming on Facebook, where I would love to cultivate conversation that normalizes these kinds of things. And so it's a place where you can get support from people that are already there or me, and to help you feel completely sane as all of these cool, beautiful things start opening up. And we all get more and more aware of these absolute freaking amazing magical powers that we all have. So maybe I will see you there. Okay, that's enough for me. Bye. Happy full moon. Till next time.